Hello again, friends. In this video, we'll be doing Tyrell 2. So with Tyrell 2, obviously, I think one of the biggest challenges throughout this is finding ample time to breathe, especially as we get towards the second half of the etude where we have just extended eighth note runs. Hopefully you're already doing breathing exercises separately, whether you're doing it, if you're in high school, whether you do it in fall marching band or winter and spring concert band, or if you're at the collegiate level, hopefully you're working on this with your instructors or as part of your brass pedagogy courses. So I'm not going to necessarily talk about how to take the breath. If you want, I'll be happy to work with you separately on that. But we want to make sure that we're taking in as much air as possible in these short intervals that we have. Thankfully, everything through here we treat as marcato. Now there will be a section, and I'll talk about this next, that I take a little bit more like a tenuto type feel, but for the most part, really everything through here is marcato, so we at least have a little bit of space between most of these notes to get a sneak breath in. Now obviously, you want to make sure that it's not happening every other note. That's going to be very detrimental to your performance. But finding a couple spots here and there in some of these extended eighth note runs to just take a little quick sneak or sniff breaths, some people will call them, will really help to ensure that we're as full as we possibly can throughout all these phrases. As we know, once we get kind of below that 50% lung capacity, I don't know why I just set up to do that, but once we get below that 50% lung capacity, that's really when the errors can start to come in, whether we want to talk about chip notes or bad tone or just unfocused direction of our stream. So really make sure that we're breathing as best we can through this. From there, just be careful not to make the quarter note marcatos too short, especially the ones that end the phrase. If you look at the first four bars, a very simple opening phrase, we're pretty much just outlining the B flat major scale. But that F on beat 3 in the fourth measure, I can't tell you how many times kids just come in and go and just play it so ridiculously short. I understand that it's actually written marcato underneath, but since this quarter note doesn't have the marcato marking over the top, I tend to play it just a little bit longer. Again, that's my interpretation. I'm not saying that's the be-all, end-all, but that's just how I do it, because I think it gives a little bit more finality to the phrase. I think the longer the body of the note just gives it a little bit more of that finality, or even not finality, just leading into whatever the next phrase may be, just depending on where we're at throughout this. So just be very, very cognizant of that. From there, just great consistency at the front. This one I absolutely use a T, taw syllable, taw, 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 to ensure that I get the crispness of the front and the clarity that I want out of my articulation. So without further ado, Tyrell number 2. Happy practicing, friends.